So this week's question is, how can introverts use their strengths to be or become more effective leaders or effective leaders? So really great question. And you see this quite a lot, that it's often the people we would class as extroverts that we see in leadership roles. But actually, being an introvert is a real strength in a leadership capacity. And therefore, my advice here is to really dial into your strengths. Those are your strengths. That's what makes you you. And therefore, you need to amplify those strengths that you have. And if you think about who you are as an introvert, go through that and look at it from a perspective of what does that mean for my strengths. So if I pick on a couple of examples. So reflective. That often is something that is used to describe those who are introverts, and much more reflective maybe than an extrovert who's going to just crack on and get on with something. That's really positive, because what you can do there is really use that reflection to demonstrate to your team or the people that you're working with that you're really considering what that person has to say or the situation in hand. This isn't about reacting. This is about giving everything some space. So introverts need to really play to their strengths. What I would also say, though, is that doesn't mean that there isn't space to grow into areas that aren't automatically your strengths. And that might be things such as speaking up. And often it's said, speak up more. Now, the problem with that is that doesn't mean that the introvert or you as an introvert leader hasn't got something to say. You're just maybe reflecting on it a bit more and thinking about it a bit more. So in terms of how do you then lean into those areas that maybe aren't your strengths, but actually are quite valuable as well, is have a think about those things that are valuable to you to develop. So it isn't about pushing you completely out of your comfort zone, but it is about recognizing, actually, for me to have impact with my team or on this project, there are times where I maybe do need to speak up more. So have a think about what will help enable you that in those scenarios. Do you need to have view of notes? Do you need to have pre-conversations with people ahead of time when you can see certain things are on the agenda? Have a think about how you enable your strengths for that area where you need to push yourself more. So again, you're dialing into your strengths to push yourself out of your comfort zone. So I hope you find that useful. I'd love to hear from anybody who has either been a leader and is an introvert, or is an introvert themselves, or has been led by an introvert. What are the positives that you've seen from those leaders? What are the things that you've really valued from those leaders? Pop those in the comments for us. It'd be really great to get that conversation going.